Takeover Insights, the podcast by and with Judith Guys. Are you and your company affected by a takeover? Then you have come to the right place. Judith Guys is the expert on American takeovers in the German-speaking region. She shares valuable tips and tricks with you and shows you how to leverage this change for yourself and your company. This podcast is also for you if you want to take over a company in a German-speaking region. It's time to take the chance. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Takeover Insights podcast. Today we will talk about how the blueprint of a takeover is now conquering the world. So where to begin? Maybe I will start by telling you how it all came about. In 2021, I worked on a project in Berlin with an American CFO who even came to Germany for the project's completion. At that time, I had some books with me that I had brought for the team, and since the CFO was there, I handed him over a copy too. He looked at it and I could see in his face that he was wondering what he was supposed to do with a German book. I was so proud to present him with a book that I didn't initially notice his bewilderment. But afterwards I thought, what was I thinking? And as it often happens, a small impulse can set things in motion. This led to the idea of publishing the blueprint of a takeover in English. After all, I work with Americans every day, and a German book might not be the most practical option. I first discussed this with Springer, but they declined to publish an English version. After a long search, I ended up with the Mentoren Verlag. How did that happen? Simply put, Volker Pietsch, the owner of the podcast agency Al Audio, which is also producing this podcast, is a partner. Said and done. The publisher was open to releasing an international book. Then the question was, how do we translate the blueprint of a takeover? My regular translators were all tied up in projects at that time. So the question arose, who could take this on? Thanks to a network contact, Diana Barding and Peter Winslow formed the translation team. They translated a chapter of the blueprint of a takeover each month, sent it to me for review, and suddenly one day in March 2024, the book translation was finished. It was a long project that took several months, or rather a good year. And then suddenly it was finished. The handover to the publisher went smoothly, and now at the time of this episode's recording, I'm waiting for the cover and initial feedback. This means that if everything goes well, the blueprint of a takeover will be published in English on October the 10th. If you are wondering what the blueprint of a takeover is all about, I have good news for you. We have decided to share some excerpts from the book exclusively with you. Enjoy. If you enjoyed this episode and found the tips and suggestions helpful, we would appreciate it if you could recommend the podcast to others. Additionally, you can help spread the word about the podcast by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for your support. You don't know how to write a review on Apple Podcasts? Then I have good news for you, because please follow the link on the show notes and you will find detailed information how to do that. Thank you very much.